Eastern Soul Tribe. Good to be back on here again. If you haven't already liked, shared, and subscribed on my channel, please make sure you do so. Ring that notification bell so you know when I post new readings. I hope that you love it. I hope that it helps you, whatever I channel today. I read tarot and oracle. I also do private readings. If you'd like in on that, the information will be below or in the About section of my channel. So let's get started. So it's weird because yesterday I got the song for Aries and today I got the song for Pisces, even though Pisces was first. So I feel like there's something with timing there. Definitely something with timing. And the song that I got for Pisces was a song that Miranda Lambert wrote on her Platinum album called Gravity's a Bitch. So I don't know if there's maybe self-esteem issues going on, or really it does have to do with how much pressure is on someone or something like that. But if you guys haven't heard it, you should probably give it a whirl. It's talking about how the years go and how the changes in your body happens. Part of it, I looked up the lyrics so I wouldn't get them right, but I'll do a little bit of it for you. It goes like this. You spend your 20s feeling like you're walking on the ceiling, and you party like you're 8 feet tall. You say working's for the birds, chasing dreams in mini skirts. From here everything seems small. Your 30s come around and you finally settle down. Look around and maybe start planning for what the future holds. No, you're far from old. You moisturize and spend less time tanning. You're hanging over, but you're hanging in. You're starting to look like all your friends. Your conversations turn from rock and roll to kids and politics and how much money you owe. Got bags under your eyes, bigger hips and bigger thighs. You got places that you can't even itch. Well, you can nip and tuck and squeeze it, but you're never gonna beat it, 'cause gravity's a bitch. Yeah. And I am here to tell you that. What's funny, I had somebody post something about this missing tooth here that I have right now. I'm going to point it out because I've been making trips to the dentist to get that fixed. I'm 46 years old. I was raised on a farm in East Tennessee. We didn't have fluoride or anything like that. Yes, I take care of my teeth. However, sometimes that kind of stuff happens. You know, accidents and things like that. So I'm here to tell you, the person that made that comment, that's a reflection of you, my dear. I did delete that comment because I don't take that kind of negativity on here. And don't be judging about things you don't know nothing about. And for those who call me a fortune teller, I don't tell your fortune. Tarot don't dictate your future. I read the energy that's present. You have all the power in the world to change those things. And for those of you who watched and don't believe what I do is worth something, then thanks for the airtime anyway, because you're definitely supporting me every time that you watch my videos. So thank you anyway. Anyway, let's get started for Pisces. We are talking about time, I think. Time can be on your side or time can be your worst enemy. Sometimes we put ourselves in a box because of the time constraints that we put on things. Wouldn't you agree? I think that what we got to understand is on this plane, well, time is something that we created. Basically, what there is the sun comes up and the sun goes down, and it all happens over and over and over again. Right? So let's see what's going on for Pisces. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides. What does Pisces need to know? Cornucopia. That's a lot of happiness. That's the 11 card. You may be coming together with someone or some kind of partnership or something like that happening. This was coming in the past energy though. Like, so there was something in the recent past or a little further back maybe that felt like it brought a lot of happiness. And then blossoming abundance came in right now in the reverse. You may feel like we have lost some kind of stability or something like that, or some kind of happiness that had us feeling in the cornucopia before. I can't help but notice it goes from the 2 to the 3. So maybe somebody else came on the scene or something like that. But in the near future, I've got us pulling back. We're going to unhide something. Maybe dealing with a Cancerian here or another Pisces. Or this may just be your energy saying, I am pulling back from something. I am pulling back my investments, no longer making investments towards something. So let's see what's happening with that scenario in the tarot. I've also got a feeling here there's something with a past life connection. The Akashic records, basically. Here's the thing. We're realizing that somebody may not have been a past life connection. There might have been a lot of conflict around it. That's what I'm getting off that card. Let's check the Oracle of Pluto real fast before we check that. See if there's any messages coming out in that. Spirit, angels, ancestors, guides for Pisces. Anything in the Oracle of Pluto for them before we go ahead and pull the tarot. What's going on for our Pisces collective? For what the future holds, and though you're far from old, you moisturize, spend less time hanging. You're hanging over, but you're hanging in. You're starting to look like all of your friends. Your conversation turns from a rock and roll to kids and politics and how much money you owe. Porcupine. Very interesting that this porcupine is created from a shadow. You might be facing something within your shadow, or there's something within your shadow traits that you may not have recognized in the previous, and that's coming up for you to take a look at in the near future. So let's take a look at the porcupine energy that comes up in this ancestral wisdom. One thing that I've learned is a lot of wisdom that I have gained over the past several years have came from my examination of my shadow traits. Now, for those of you who are kind of new and you don't understand shadow traits compared to your light traits, well, it's the things you do that you aren't necessarily that proud of, or the habits that you have or behaviors that you exhibit that come from places of pain or of past that could have created a negative type of behavior within your life, and you're not aware of it until you are. So let's see if I can put it into, for instance, I used to be really, really bad for future faking, because I would have this dream of something that I wanted to have in the future, and I would just like basically live as if, and I didn't actually put the plan together for it in the proper way, and that would cost me a lot in the long run. And so learning to slow down, take my time, plan accordingly, and move forward has changed that dynamic for me to where I don't have to do that anymore. You know, and that's just one. It's just an example of shadow traits. And you don't realize you do it. If you grow up with other people doing it, then you think that's the thing that you do. Fake it till you make it. In some cases, that's relevant. But you can't always do that if you're not actually taking steps in the real world to make these things happen. You know what I mean? So that's something that we need to take a look at. Maybe not that particular shadow trait, but the idea of maybe there's some behaviors that we have or that someone else is exhibiting back to us that could mirror something that we need to look at within ourselves. The ancestral wisdom. So the porcupine, with its body covered in innumerable sharp quills, is a curious creature. Many indigenous peoples revere this traveling spike ball as a personification of ancestral wisdom. with each quill representing a different person and a different lesson or piece of knowledge to be shared. Okay? The Arafo, or for example, revere the porcupine for being able to travel between the physical and the spiritual realm. So if you're deeply rooted in the culture of your family and ancestors, this card is a signal to dive deeper into your relationship with them and consider engaging in activities relevant to your cultures, such as cooking their food, speaking their language, or erecting an altar to your loved ones. If you're someone who isn't in touch with your roots for whatever reason, that's okay. Sometimes delving into the subject of family can be a painful one, especially in the generations of those who came before us. Some of those qualities or values don't align with who we are. So the energy of this card is like famous saying in the occult community: as above, so below; as without, so within; as the universe, so the soul. So basically, there are things to examine inside of our own being, our own behaviors that may have come from generations before. Things that it almost feels like develop as genetic traits or behaviors. Things that we do because everybody in the family always done that. We behave like that because that's who we are. But you have the power. You're always giving away your power if you don't realize that there's qualities to that that may be hindering growth or something like that. So you may have viewed something in the past that looked like extreme happiness, and then another person came onto the scene, or another energy came onto the scene that began to make us feel like that we weren't as happy. And then we stopped investing because we were no longer feeling happy. If you'll notice, I'm making a point about the emotions and feeling behind it. It's cup energy. It's water. Moon, Pisces, Cancer. The way you feel about it will determine, in a lot of ways, how your behavior, as within, so without. So how your behavior will exhibit in the 3D. And it will, the feelings that we have or emotions we have or pent up pain sometimes can make us exhibit certain behaviors within relationships, dynamics, and things around us that would create something that will lessening the feeling of abundance that we might have. And I feel like that's something that's definitely been on the table for the Pisces I'm looking at today. So let's pull the tarot and go a little bit further and see what we need to know for Pisces. This is a deep reading. It's kind of complicated. I still feel like there's something about time here. You'll notice there was a time in the past where, you know, there was a whole lot of happiness. You spend your 20s feeling like you're walking on a ceiling, and you party like you're 8 feet tall. And then your 30s come around and you finally settle down, look around, and maybe start planning for what the future holds. And though you're far from old, you moisturize and spend less time tanning. So blossoming abundance, I'm not feeling so happy about this, you know. I'm not going to invest anymore, and you kind of give up. Now it's time to look at those traits, because those shadow traits can portray something much bigger than what is really happening for us. And it's something that actually can be remedied. Let me move these over because I just blew one of them off on the floor. For Pisces, spirit, angels, ancestors, guides. Been going on for Pisces. Yeah, something's been moving real slow, or you might be dealing with a younger earth sign that has made you feel less than, feel a betrayal there of some kind, feel stabbed in the back over something. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy could be on that. It's very Virgo-ish to me. What's in the recent past for Pisces? Somebody who couldn't stand on their own so much in the recent past. You didn't feel abundant in your own right. Maybe you were a little codependent somewhere or something like that. But Nine of Pentacles in reverse is that's money lost. That's abundance lost. That's this card. You know, just didn't feel very independent and abundant on your own. What's our hope and dream for Pisces? All right, we think about being left out very often. The thing about this mind frame, being in this mind frame and thinking this way often, is looking at these 3 cups that are spilled, not realizing what we got going for us over here. You know? And that could be the shadow trait that we're looking at. A low self-esteem, things like that. Not being able to see the positive. The cup's not half full in this energy, it's half empty. And then we spend a lot of time terrified of transformation. This is a fear. We don't want old things to die away in order for something new to come in. Scorpio energy here in the reverse means that it's transformational, but we're not allowing something to transform. And we fear the transformation of whatever this thing is for you, Pisces. What's coming up in the near future for Pisces with this energy? The Emperor. This is the husband. Aries, Taurus, Libra. This is the masculine energy that has the ability to run an entire empire. But they're not. They're either manipulating or they can't for some reason. It doesn't mean that there has to be bad energy here. But something about how slow things have moved, the feeling of betrayal is on the table. And it's probably what's crossing that energy or making things run slow. And in the near future, we're seeing that Aries, Taurus, Libra energy is coming in reverse. It's a masculine that is either unable to or unwilling to do something that we've been counting on. What else? The Sun. Leo. Interestingly enough, it fell on our biggest fear, which is the transformational energy. It makes me feel like there's something that we cannot see beyond, because we cannot see the thing beyond the death. The fact that happiness and the Sun, the Leo energy, pops through, or that transformation is going to be inevitable either way, and it may possibly be during the Lion's Gate. Because Sun energy is Leo energy. It's happiness. It's what's going to make us happy, but sometimes we may have a block up against it just because we're holding old bitterness. This is that porcupine energy again, where we're taking, there's a shadow there that is creating a block for our forward movement here. What else do we need to know about this Emperor for Pisces? This Emperor, or this energy of not running things properly, or whatever this masculine energy is, it's not a fighting energy. That's in reverse. Somebody here may want to fight, but they're not going to have conflict, and they're not going to be defensive, or this person or you may not defend this person. If that's a person, it could be an energy within yourself where it's almost like I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I'm tired. What's an outside influence here for Pisces? King of Pentacles. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn here. In the upright. What about it? And the Queen of Wands. Okay, Pisces, you may have an earth energy. That's a masculine. And a feminine fire energy. Leo. Possibly Leo. Aries, because I'm seeing Aries up here, or Libra. No. Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. Feminine. Trying to be together. Trying to collaborate. They're both looking in the same direction, which is toward the future. That's where that knight was going to. I'm wondering if this knight, this earth energy that's been moving slow, is going to go through this growth phase and graduate to a King of Pentacles from the knight. And they're looking at a passionate feminine here. What do we need to know about this couple, Pisces? If you didn't receive a new offer, a new pinnacle, or this is someone going back to grab a hold of a previous missed opportunity of abundance. What else? There's a Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn over here in the past that was not singularly abundant. So the King of Pentacles turns his back on the Queen of Pentacles and goes after the Queen of Wands. What's the potential outcome here for Pisces? Pisces, the Hanged Man. Somebody's missing a lesson here. Somebody didn't learn something. So the Ten of Swords are here and the Nine of Wands, or we're pulling back. All the ones are in the reverse. Somebody's giving up, not fighting anymore, not messaging anymore. And then there's Gemini on the scene. There's a Lovers Divine Connection going forward. What do we need to know about this Gemini Lovers connection here? A choice is being made that, there's the 10 Wands. There's the completion. What advice do you have for Pisces here? Advice for Pisces. Queen of Cups in reverse. If you've had your heart closed off, that's something that you need to examine. Or you may be facing up against someone who has a closed off heart space. Or you may be losing love for something. And another piece of advice is drop the conflict around it. What else for Pisces? Hold on. There's advice to stop juggling here. So if you've been tossing around two ideas, going back and forth between two, that it's a time to stop. So what you don't see coming at the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Cups. You may have an offer coming in, Pisces, or this may be an opportunity for you to grab your cup, become that Knight of Cups, bring it in the upright in order to fill your own cup so that you have something to actually take across the battlefield to the new destination. If there's been things hidden, this is you again, Pisces, with the High Priestess in reverse. It's time to bring those into the light about Two of Cups that could be coming in. You're going to get some big truth around that. You may be looking at going toward an air sign who is a quick communicator. Aries, no, Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, masculine. Going toward a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, probably a Pisces, and coming together with that. And you may feel like you don't have enough strength around it, but that's where your healing's going to be, or it could be dealing with an Aquarius. The key to that is looking at this heart space. What's going on with the broken heart? And what could have possibly took place within this dynamic that you may be coming out of or going toward that could create healing for you or another. Because for some reason our happiness waned, and I feel like there was another energy that came on board. If you were dealing with an earth sign previously, I believe that earth sign is moving toward a feminine, it don't have to be a fire sign, but they can be very fiery, attractive individual. And sometimes it's meant for that transformation to take place. If we fear that, we can't see the happiness that's on the other side of it. So I feel like you're closing out a cycle. You're in the dead ass center of it, and I'm not surprised. This is a chance to look back. Mercury's in retrograde as of today. So you're going to look at past, present, and future to make a comparison, and don't look at it as a negative. It's an opportunity to relook and see where your path may be coming off of one trajectory and moving on to another one. Trust me, I have made those transitions myself more often than I want to. Time gets away from you, and it may be a knock on someone's self-esteem here, whether you or them, with gravity's a bitch being on there. Yeah, also, what goes up must come down. So there may be some karmic debt being paid here by you or someone else, but on the other side of it is complete happiness. You just got to ride the wave. All right, any advice for Pisces? Take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude. So the only way that you can actually hear spirit speaking to you and be able to really examine the shadow traits that may be coming up within this dynamic is for you to actually go within and spend some alone time. You'll go into hermit mode. And that's very, very good for someone who's going through spiritual awakening. That's why the death card is here. Let compassion and forgiveness be your top priority in this situation. So if somebody's wronged you, or if you feel just stabbed in the back, you're heartbroken, whatever it is, you've got to find compassion and forgiveness, because you forgive for yourself, and then you look toward the future in forgiveness, because you realize that had you not experienced what was experienced in a previous dynamic, you would never know how to be who you are today. So you can either be a Five of Cups about it, be a victim mode, your cups half full or your cups are empty, or you can choose to look at the things that you have and take those as lessons. Forgive the person that you came out of that with, and realize that there was nuggets of knowledge in there, and that person was sent across your path in order to give you insight on the changes that you can make for your own self-improvement, because it all ends up being about ourselves. So it's take time to rest and recuperate rather than continuing your striving. So if you're working against the grain towards something, push, 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 in order to keep this transformational energy from taking place, then it's time, Spirit says, to slow your roll. That's why this Knight of Pentacles was put up as a block. And understand that some things may gravitate out of your life and you got to back up and punt. You know, it's time to slow things down and look at the lesson that was meant to be learned within the dynamic, and then realize that on the other side of that, we serve a big creator who can make things happen for us. And there are steps that we have to take to do so. There's lessons to learn along the way. And believe it or not, what's on the other side of it, it's uphill. All right? And sometimes it's hard to see those things when you're in the midst of chaos. But you can get through it. And the other thing is cardinal energy. You may be dealing with cardinal energy. Or cardinal energy is Aries, which is on here. Libra is cardinal air. Aries is cardinal fire. And Cancer's mutable. You our cardinal water, I think. And I can't remember cardinal earth. I know Taurus is fixed. But anyway, the polarities of your spiritual pursuits and physical pleasures are out of balance, so do what it takes necessary to bring them back into equilibrium. So if you've not been going within and getting close to your spirit guides and things like that, now's the time to do it. Because if you don't do those things, then you'll be pushed into a corner karmically within your relationship dynamics and everything in order to be able to have that growth process. So sometimes you got to back up and punt. And don't let time get away from you, because gravity's a bitch. What goes up must come down. As within, so without. As above, so below. Anyway, Pisces, that's your reading. I hope it helped. And I hope I didn't snitch anybody out with what was coming up. But you got to know, if we're friends, I have to tell you what I see in the cards. Anyway, until next time, much love and light to you. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you know when I post new readings.